Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Bank Shot DJs podcast. What is good, Denny? With your host, Denny in the Shrine. It's been a minute. We had a little break for Thanksgiving. Just busy lives too, and let some basketball roll on so we can have some more stuff to talk about. Denny, what is good?
What's going on, man? Monday, December 9th, 7:30. We hope everyone has been enjoying the holidays. Holidays are still rolling.
Yep.
That means NBA is rolling. NBA Cup is rolling. I've been doing some coaching as well. And so it's just been all basketball and just ready for another episode, talk hoops, let everyone know what we're thinking, and let's get into it.
Yes, sir. It's always interesting around this time because it's always infamous that NFL gets Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Thanksgiving Day games, but NBA gets Christmas Day games. And we'll talk about that going on later. I'm not sure if we'll have an episode for Christmas because we'll both be kind of gone doing our own thing. But we'll talk about the Christmas games at one point.
We can highlight those games. Yeah, we can highlight them today before.
Sure, let's do
before we wrap up today.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll put that at the end.
Awesome.
Anyways, Denny, what do we got on the tap for today?
We'll go over some quick updates. A couple of accolades have been reached by some players, so we just want to highlight those real quick. And then we want to spend most of the episode today discussing teams that we feel are trending in the right direction, teams that are trending in the wrong direction. We are approaching December, about to be done with December, and then we kind of start hitting the second half of the season, getting close to All-Star weekend. So things are rolling, and we're here to talk about all of it.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, let's get into it. So if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I'll say this every single time. We like to do a tradition here. It's called taking a shot for the Sonics. We will be taking a shot on this podcast until the great team, the Seattle Supersonics, return to the great city of Seattle. I got my Final Four hat here on today because this last weekend was a great game. One of the best games I've ever seen in my life, actually. It was Battle for Seattle, which was Kentucky versus Gonzaga. Kentucky was the number 4 seed coming into this, and Gonzaga was the number 7 seed. For those who know me, I'm a Zags fan, and a lot of the Westsiders over here hate me for it, but I don't give a fuck. So go Zags, baby, even though we lost by 1 in overtime. But where I was going with this, it was just insane looking, being in that arena, just seeing a completely full stadium for basketball in Seattle. I'll say it over and over again. I've talked about it many times on this podcast. We are a basketball city. We have many guys in the league right now that are from here. We have we have a few guys in the league that played for the SL Supersonics before they left. Kevin Durant being one of them. Jeff Green and a few coaches out there as well. We just want the great association to bring this great team back. We miss Seattle basketball. My favorite part about being there was there's a bunch of Seattle Supersonics jerseys. There's people dressing up as Sasquatch, was the former mascot there. So, Danny, I know I just went on a long rant. Go Zags, first of all, even though we lost by 1 point. Shouldn't have lost, but go Zags, go Sonics, bring them back, baby.
It's all for the city.
All for the city.
Bring them back.
That was smooth with the glass there.
That was.
All right, Danny, let's get into it.
All right, so let's kind of just go over an accolade really quick before we dive into the rest of our pod today. Chris Paul, CP3, has now reached second all time in assists in NBA history.
Fucking go!
I think we have to just give props to that man. He's been averaging 9.3 assists per game. That's his average over his whole career. For what, 18?
About,
is it 18? Yeah, 18.
18 or 19.
Yeah, coming in 18 years. 18.
LeBron's only a year or two older than him, right?
Yeah. And I think despite all of the criticism or whatever people say about Chris Paul, I think you have to appreciate what he's done and what he's done for this long. So props to CP3 on that.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the amount of teams he's hopped from. He's back in New Orleans when they're still the Hornets. He's just been everywhere. Most notably, time for some Clippers. Now on the Spurs. He played time in Oklahoma City, where he talked about his time with Shea during the bubble era there for the COVID time. But just bouncing around from there to Houston to everywhere, man. Golden State last year. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Man has been thrown around, but that's just attest to how good of a basketball player he's been. He's still producing those stats, still just being a floor facilitator. We talk about it all the time. Every time we talk about CP3 and the Spurs, or even last year when we were talking about him on the Warriors, so he just creates plays on the court. And it was really cool seeing the Spurs organization got him a basketball with every single teammate that he's assisted to over his time. Yeah. That was a really cool thing to do. Just a million names just printed in fine print on there. But yeah, absolute GOAT. He's behind John Stockton, who, speaking about the Zags, one of the greatest Zag of all time, not even close, and the greatest player from Spokane, Washington, my home city. But kind of goes to the thing. I don't think John Stockton's record will ever be broken. It's also crazy is CP3 is pretty high up on the steals list too, isn't he? Didn't he just pass another guy for that too?
I believe he did. Yeah.
Which also the leader all time is also John Stockton, I believe. So I don't know. It just kind of talks about point guards. When you talk about Chris Paul, you talk about John Stockton, you talk about Russell Westbrook, talk about Jason Kidd, about all these guys that are high up on these lists that are just all-time greats that have 0 rings. So it leads me to believe when we talk about greats, not a lot of point guards are in the top. Not in people's top 15. Sometimes not top 20. But it's kind of underappreciated, I feel like, of a position of what they do, you know?
How they just open up the offense. You know, they set other guys up.
They run the court.
Yeah. You know, you can say these guys are pretty unselfish. You know, they're pass first guards, looking to open up the floor, get their, other guys good shots. But, you know, you mentioned, CP3 not winning a ring. You look at other guys. Yeah, Stockton's not won a ring. You look at some of the other greats. Jason Kidd has not won a ring. He's right behind. He's who Chris Paul just surpassed for assists. You look at guys like Steve Nash.
Yep, Nash
hasn't won a ring, but he was a back-to-back MVP of the league. I also believe he's the only player in NBA history to have 3 seasons in the 50, 40, 90 club, as well as averaging 10 assists, which is just unreal. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, you know, all these guys, just producing at such a high level and not being able to kind of get over that hump to get a ring. You know, Chris Paul, his closest opportunity was with the Suns back in, I think, what was that, 2021, but just ran into a beast in Giannis in the finals. But you still got to just appreciate these guys and what they've been doing.
I remember that finals because I was actually in Vegas for my 21st birthday, and I remember this clearly. It was the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference finals, I believe, and it was Bucks at Nets, and it was Clippers at Suns. And so I was in Vegas with some money to bet down, and I did my first parlay as a legal bettor. I did the Nets at home plus 3.5, and I took the Suns money line just to obliterate the Clippers, which I was happy they did. But the Nets end up losing by 2 points, so they covered, and that was my first ever legal parlay that I ever won.
There you go.
Was those 2 games. But anyways, sorry to rant off, but
I'll never forget that Bucks Nets series just because Kevin Durant was on the Nets, and I was actually unfortunately having to work during the infamous foot on the line.
On the line. I think that was that. No, it wasn't that game, but it was the game after, I believe.
Yeah, and I just remember everyone texting me and calling me about it. I saw the replay after, and I just couldn't believe it. There was a lot going on in that playoff stretch for sure.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, going back to that.
Shout out CP3 though.
CP3, you're the GOAT, man. One of my favorite clips that happened like last year is CP3 is getting all emotional on an interview. I forget who it was with, but he talks about his time with Shea and how Shea took him under his wing, dude, when he was, not took him under his wing, but like CP3 lost his family in LA when he went to Oklahoma City, and Shea was over at Chris Paul's house every single day getting food from because he had his own private chef there. And he just talks about how like pretty much him and Shea and even some of the other boys like Lou Dort were just over at Chris Paul's house almost every single time, even when they weren't even playing basketball games, and how they got really close and stuff like that. So it's kind of a really cool thing to hear. He gets all teary about it because like Shea was just, his family away from family. So just leads
brotherhood right there.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Just, every single person he's played with has nothing but good things to say about Chris Paul. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
I really don't know who doesn't. I can't even name a beef between him. I don't think there really is any. So, but talking about the point guards, but the only closest point guard that's on this top point guard list, is Magic Johnson, who's had 5 rings. But other than that, like the kind of success of the point guard position is undervalued in a lot of ways, I feel like. But
shout out point guards, man.
Yeah, you look at that. You look at the Bulls team. Like, can you name the point guard from every single Bulls win?
It was Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr was actually coming off the bench most of the time.
It was what was that other?
He was a sober shooting guard too.
No, what was that other white guy's name? It was I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now.
I'm blanking on it too. So maybe there's better basketball fans out there that can tell us the point guards. But like when you think about the '90s Bulls, you think about Dennis Rodman. You think about obviously MJ. You think about Pippen. You think about Grant Hill, who is down low. You think about those guys. Tony Kukoc, also a big guy. You talk about all these greats that are these huge dudes.
John Paxson.
Yeah, John Paxson.
God. Who Steve Kerr actually replicated his game after John Paxson. Yeah. The guy was huge for him. Yeah, they had him. They had guys like BJ Armstrong.
Yep.
They had Ron Harper. Yeah, guys who would help.
Yeah.
With that team, but obviously we know the main focal points of that team.
Oh yeah.
So didn't take much. But yeah, shout out to Chris Paul, man. That's a hell of an accomplishment. He's still going, still rolling. Excited to see what he can keep doing. But like you said, I don't think anyone's going to touch that.
No.
John Stockton. I think he's got 3,000 more assists than everyone else who are even close.
He averaged something insane. He averaged over 11, almost 12 assists per game his entire career.
Yeah, something wild. So.
And I'm not even sure how close to steal ones is yet either. But it's insane stuff. Talk about unbreakable records, but also, people thought the Oscar Robertson record was untouchable too. And here's Russ, who just scored his 200 triple double. We talked about in the Lost podcast.
Yeah,
Mr. 200. So I guess it's not impossible, but I feel like nowadays in this type of NBA that we have, I feel like it could be broken in the future, more so because, we're talking about the different evolution of the game, of the pick and pop and stuff like that. So I feel like the assist numbers are definitely going up every game.
Yep.
Versus, I feel like a lot of those back in the day were bunch for the pick and roll and stuff like that was huge, but the pick and pop is massive now too. So,
yep. Last thing, John Stockton's got about 700 more steals than the next person, who is Jason Kidd.
Oh, and then
in the steal category, and then it's Chris Paul.
Who's Chris Paul's third?
He passed MJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's third.
Who's the next active player on the steals list?
Next active player on the steals list is LeBron James.
And he's at
number 8.
Oh, so there's no way.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know that Chris Paul had more steals than LeBron. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just add it to his resume. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Anyways, Hall of Famer for sure. Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Cool what he's seen with doing with Wemby,
Yeah.
Just being that vet presence.
Let's talk about the many greats that he's been with, or he started with and have grown up to be what they are now too. Talk about Shea, Wemby, obviously, plenty. James Harden. He was there with James Harden a little bit during those times.
He was even there with Devin Booker.
He was there with D-Book.
So just helping elevating, all these stars games.
All these guys' games. I feel like all of them have gotten better when he's left.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about all the teams we want to talk about, Matt, let's just really quick go over the NBA Cup. We've seen some really good individual performances, some wild games, and it's all led to the knockout rounds, which are starting tomorrow. We got a really good slate of games, both in the West and the East. Let's just go over them really quick. In the West, we got 2 solid games. First off, we got the Rockets versus the Warriors. Real quick, let's just get your predictions of that game. Who's taking that game?
Well, here's the thing. So kind of funny to think about. The Warriors were at one point first in the West, went to second, was there at second for a while, and now they went on the skid. Now the Rockets have come back, and now they're second in the league as well.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marcus. Happy birthday to you. We just had to give a special shout out to the GOAT, Marcus Gray. It's his birthday. Marcus, what do you want to say to all the followers right now?
Blazers are winning in 2028.
2028.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
2028.
Clip that. I'll make sure that gets out there.
You heard it here first, man. Shadon Sharp, Anthony Simons, they're taking over.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully without DeAndre Ayton on that team. Actually, that's the only way they win in 2028 without DeAndre Ayton.
What about Denny Avitsa?
Denny? Oh, I like Danny.
Keep him on the team.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what they can. We'll talk about NBA trade coming up too, but I feel like he would be a good trade piece to get
close to the deadline,
get some value for.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I'm not in 2028. I'm not sure if he'll still be there.
Yeah,
but
happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Yeah, so we're going to take a little pause there, but Matt, let's get back to it. Warriors, Rockets.
Yeah, as I was saying, Warriors have been on a skid. Rockets are on a tear. I'm taking Rockets there.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just been really exciting watching the Rockets play.
Yeah, it really has been.
Yeah, Warriors been kind of up and down. Yeah, as of late, I think in a one game kind of setting, I'll take the Rockets as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
perfect.
Let's go over to the other matchup in the West. We got a rematch of the Western Conference Finals. We got the Thunder versus the Mavericks. We got potentially some bad blood. Matt, what are we looking at for this game here?
First off, I'm pissed at Mike. Michael, you know what you did? You're in Portland for this game, and I really wanted to watch it with you, but that's okay. You know who I'm taking. We've been on a tear ever since iHeart came back, and been playing for us. He's been averaging a double-double literally since the day he stepped on the court, and he's amazing, dude. So he's taking the Thunder here. I know Luka's been back, and Mavs have been on a tear lately too, but like we're good even without Chet. Like, we're good. I don't know. Our depth is so insane, dude. I'm so okay with every single person in right now. And like, I just don't think one of the biggest people that was hurting us in the West Conference Finals last year. Talk about Derek Jones Jr. He's not there anymore, right? So he's gone.
Yep.
Who else was there? PJ? PJ's still there.
Yeah, fucking PJ, man. The corner three. Yeah. The corner three.
He's still there though?
He is still there. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too worried.
Yeah.
So
the Mavs have won their only matchup so far this season. They won it by 2. I just think the Thunder have had this team kind of marked for a while, going back to the conference finals last year. And so I see them taking it, what we talked about. We'll talk about the Mavs more in a little bit, but one game series, I think the Thunder take it. I've been really impressed with J-Dubs. He's really stepped it up, especially with Chet out. Hartenstein has returned, and doesn't look like he's lost a beat. He's been playing really well. I
love them.
Yeah. So I'll take the Thunder in that one too.
Quick thing on there too. A lot of them are talking about how they really want to win this NBA Cup for their teammate Jay Will, who's been injured the entire season. The other Jalen Williams. They really want to win this and get the money for him because he's been losing some money on guaranteed not getting playing time right now. So the Thunder have a target to win this all. They want to win it for their teammate, and they're really appreciative of that. So they're winning this whole thing for Jay Will. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. But there's my prediction.
There we go. Let's hop over to the East really quick, Matt. We got 2 also really good matchups over there. First, let's look at we got this Knicks versus Hawks matchup. We've talked a lot about the Hawks. We're really big fans of them. The Great Barrier Thief. Jalen Johnson, obviously led by Trae Young. Do we think that these guys, Knicks have been hot though. Do we think that the Hawks can take this win?
It's been weird. We'll talk about more of the Hawks. I'll go in depth more in the Hawks later because we do have them on the schedule here. But the Hawks been like really aggressive in their group play when it came to the NBA Cup for some reason. I don't know why, but they've been such a wild card lately. But this Knicks team's been on a tear, and Cat is in his bag right now. And I really gonna trust Cat in that secondary team and Josh Hart and stuff like that coming off of the Knicks. So I'm gonna take the Knicks here.
Yeah, I think for as exciting the Hawks have been, I think one of those teams you run into the East that's going to cause problems and is clicking right now is going to be the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I will go with the Knicks on that one as well. And then we got the other matchup over there. We got the Bucks versus the Magic. Magic have had some tough injuries as of late, with Franz Wagner going down this past week with an oblique injury, literally the same fucking injury that Paulo had.
That's so unfortunate.
And so do we think that the Magic can find it in them to overcome this? Or do we think the Bucks are going to take this?
Sadly, the Bucks are going to take it. They did have a really nice win last night, actually. Who did they play? It was a pretty big. It's a great game.
They beat the Suns.
I'm sorry, I forgot that. But it was a good game. I'm sorry I'm using their pain against you right now, but they were good, but I just don't think it's enough to stop Giannis. He's literally looking insane right now.
He's picked it up. Yeah,
he's back to an MVP self. So
yeah. Well, we know you got the
it's the
Thunder.
Bucks.
We know you got the Thunder in the championship for this. Who do you think is going to make it out of the East? Is it going to be the Knicks or the Bucks?
I'm gonna say the Knicks for the same reason I took them against the Hawks in general, is the depth. The Bucks are struggling outside of Giannis. I feel like, even though they're doing better, but you still know Middleton, Bobby P's, only great every other night or so. I think that depth coming off for New York is going to be very vital to that for the East, at least.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see the Knicks moving forward.
Yeah,
for a little Knicks Thunder showdown for the championship in Vegas. That'll be a fun game.
That'll be great. But I'm really excited. I want to see that Cat versus Giannis thing. Will be great though.
Yeah,
that'll be a really big statement for Cat if he can play good defense against Giannis.
Yep.
But I mean, I think that's the only thing that where I take Giannis over Cat is I think Giannis could destroy Cat on offense. And I think Giannis could defend Cat really easily on defense. So if Cat steps his defense up, then I'll give him his cookies. But he's got to do a lot.
Yep.
So
we got the games on Tuesday and Wednesday for the quarterfinals. I believe the semifinals will be this Saturday, with the championship being next Monday. So it goes pretty quick, but is exciting for sure.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Thunder winning it all. You heard it here for us.
There we go. Let's move on to the main topic for today's episode, Matt. Let's first talk about teams that we see are trending up. We've been talking about this team. First team we're going to talk about, we've been saying that when they are 100%, that they are a top team in the West. That's the Grizzlies.
Dude, they're so good. And it's what's crazy. I was watching the Kings versus Grizzly games last week, and they almost look better with their secondary unit on the court. That's with Steffi Aldama, Scottie Pippen Jr.,
Jalen
Wells. And Jalen Wells is actually on the first line.
Actually, I forgot. Sorry, he's starting.
Yeah,
yes.
he's starting.
No, the GOAT's starting.
Yeah, the GOAT is starting.
Sorry.
And Aldama is insane. He's looking so good. He was out boarding DeMontis Sabonis when he was on the floor. It was insane. And I obviously I haven't been fantasy, so I've been paying a little bit more attention than normal. But I also had DeMar DeRozan that night and De'Aaron Fox. So I mean, you do what you can. But God, this Grizz team is just so good. The depth is there. You have both rookies firing on all cylinders there. Zach Edey's been hurt, I believe, lately, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of sucked a little bit, but they're doing so good. Jaw's doing so good. Jaw got ejected that game accidentally. He should not have been ejected, in my opinion.
No, that was
he got
soft
really upset
recently.
He got really upset at a foul that should not have been called a foul. He got the ball. He just got upset, and he didn't really do anything wrong. He pointed at a ref, and then you're like, teed him up. Second technical of the game. You're out of here. Sorry. So that was really tough to see, but yeah, I just love this team. Jaren Jackson Jr. is looking back to an old self that we wanted. We talked about him a lot last season, how we wanted to be Defensive Player of the Year. We chose him for that award last season. We talked about him again for this season. He's looking like that again. I think he just needs his teammates around him to kind of have confidence as well. So they're winning. That's confidence. And so they're just helping each other left and right. So it's really good to see. We're liking this Grizz team.
9-1 in their last 10. Jaren Jackson leading the way with 21, almost 22 points a game, almost two blocks a game right now. Aldama is actually leading the team in rebounds right now with 7.5.
Yeah, that's my guy.
So
I love Aldama, dude.
And then you just look at their scoring. I mean, pretty well balanced. You got Bane at 14.5. Aldama's got 13. Wells and Edey both got 11 respectively. You got Scottie Pippen Jr. at 10 points a game. You look at this team 2 years ago, they finished second in the West with a 50-win season. And I feel like they've kept, I think, essentially the same team. These guys are just getting older.
And they're just so
Aldama
injured
was still
last
there.
year.
Yeah, Brandon Clark was there 2 years ago.
My guy, Brandon Clark, another Zag. Go Zags.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have stayed with the team, have developed. Like you said, they were injury-riddled last year, so they've really picked it up. They're first in points, they're first in blocks, they're top 5 in rebounds and assists. I think the one thing that will take them over the edge is if Desmond Bane's 3-point shooting can get back to what it usually is, get him back to that 40%. Get him back to that 40% range.
That's all they need him for. Like they have the defense, they have the boards.
Yep.
They have other ways to score. They just need him to shoot threes. And once that happens, I completely agree with you. It's a great take. Once he gets that 3-point shooting back, he is set.
And I feel like Ja being back too will help. because Jaw's just ability to facilitate, set up Bane for maybe more catch and shoot rather than him having to try to find his own shot. But very impressed with this Grizzlies team right now.
Absolutely. And obviously we both want our own teams to do good, but I'm rooting for these guys otherwise.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. Yeah. Shout out Jalen Wells.
Shout out Jay Wells.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about him coming up.
We will talk about him a little bit. Yeah. Let's move on to the next team, Matt. We just mentioned this team a little bit. They're going up against your Thunder tomorrow night in the quarterfinals. This team has been playing well. They're the only other team that are 9-1 in their last 10, and that is the Dallas Mavericks.
Mavs have been insane. They've been looking good. I feel like I haven't watched enough of their games, to be honest, but a big part of it, I know Luka was injured, so that's coming back. Luka's doing good. Some people were talking about him being I've been watching like MVP ladder stuff, and obviously I'm not going to hide it. I get upset that they're putting Shea so low because he's literally the most consistent player in this league, I feel like, besides Jokic. Jokic is my MVP, but we're not talking MVP ladder today, I believe. But I'll talk about Jokic in a little bit.
We'll talk Jokic a little bit. Yep.
But besides that, like Luka's just he's been good, but I feel like he's not been as consistent as a star as everybody else. But I think Jason Kidd's doing a really good job facilitating this team around.
I think him coming back from injury, he's played better. But before his injury, Luka was not playing to Luka standards. Guys who I've been impressed by on this team, first is Kyrie Irving. He's increased his scoring. His 3-point shooting from the end of last season to this season has been really impressive. He's shooting 47% from three. A guy who I don't necessarily talk the best about has actually been playing well off the bench, and that's Spencer Dinwiddie, who I need to probably start calling Spencer Dinwiddie. He had a slow start, but he's really picked it up, especially when guys have been out. He's had a couple of 20 bombs recently. He's been playing really well. And then another guy who I think has been playing really well and has started 7 games this season when Luka's been out is Najee Marshall.
Yeah,
they're signing from the Pelicans. Just another guy who's been able to score the bucket. He's dropped 20 in 4 straight games. I just think these like kind of role player pieces have been really able to help out the Mavericks, especially with them losing Derrick Jones Jr. last year. Just being able to get these other guys to kind of come in and help fill out the rest of that team have definitely made it impressive. But I'm impressed by the Mavericks as of late.
Yeah, I feel like personally they've just been somebody I haven't been watching as much lately, and not on purpose, I feel like. But I
feel like they're a team that's kind of gone under the radar.
They have been because they had a slow start. Like you said, Luka was not himself.
Yeah.
He's also got injured. But you still have Derek Lively leading this team in blocks at 1.6. PJ Washington's actually leading the team in rebounds 8.3. It's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
When you have Gafford and Lively. They're both damn, yeah. Luka's averaging 8.3 rebounds a game right now too. So actually, it's PJ Washington and Luka are leading the team in rebounds at 8.3, which is kind of crazy to think. Gafford's not having as good as a season I want him to do. He was really an important role for the team last year when he was trade acquisition from the Washington.
Yeah,
and he's kind of not living up to the standards I had him at this year. He's averaging 12.7 points, but 6.7 rebounds and 2.5 assists and 1.2 blocks. I expected a little bit more from him to actually take that role as a more of a starting center and kind of actually act like more of a starting center. He has so much hop. He's a really good defender, but I don't know. He just hasn't been as much as what I saw last year in the playoffs, at least.
I agree with you. I think, he really needs to step it up a little bit. Maybe just be more aggressive, but he definitely has more potential than what he's producing right now.
But when you got PJ Washington stepping it up and stuff like that, and
I guess you don't necessarily need to.
You got two people. You got Luka and Kyrie's averaging 24.
Yep.
And then you got Klay Thompson down there as well, which sucks to see him not doing as well. But we love Klay.
Hopefully he's doing his part.
Hopefully he's doing his part. I mean, they're winning, so
that's what all that matters at the end of the day.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Seriously. Yeah.
So we love you, Klay. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs, baby.
But that's all. I don't have much to say on this Mavs team, but they're doing good.
Yeah, let's go on to the another team to talk about who has been playing well as of late. Let's go over to the East. They're currently 5th in the East right now. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and that is the Miami Heat. Another team who doesn't really get talked about a lot.
Yeah, I want to talk about their leading scorer right now, that doesn't get talked about, is Tyler Hero, man. Yeah. Made fun of him for tattooing his own jerseys on his stomach a little bit, which I thought was a weird move. But, fuck it, dude. If you're doing what you're doing right now, then you have all right to, I guess. Averaging 24 points right now, but he's did they just play the Lakers last night or the night before? Or
What was it? He was 7 for 8 from 3 in the third quarter.
Yeah, like 36 points.
Yeah.
And he had an insane stat line.
And I think that was a 41-point blowout against the Lakers.
Yeah, 41-point blowout.
We'll go more to the Lakers in a little bit, but
but it was just good to see that, especially when you have your star who's supposed to be Jimmy Butler, who's not always healthy. Every game you don't know if he's going to be playing or not, and kind of sucks to see. He's only averaging 19 points right now a game. He's only started 17 games out of their, Tyler Hero started all 22 games so far. So it kind of just sucks to see. And but Tyler Hero has been amazing. I'm glad he stepped it up in the presence of Jimmy Butler just not stepping up at all.
Yeah. He's been really effective from the three-point shot. He's currently on pace to have his best shooting season of his career if he is able to keep it up. You talk about Bam. He's doing his thing.
Bam is killing
the stat sheet.
Bam is leading team in rebounds, assists, steals. Yeah, he's awesome. He's down low. He's a freak.
I think the key for this team is to stay consistent. Both Bam and Tyler Hero have come out in post-game press conferences and have said at times it feels like they're lacking consistency or energy. They just have bad energy sometimes in some games. So I think that's something internally they just need to figure out. Yeah. If they're able to figure out, they should be okay. One disappointment is just the downfall of Terry Rozier. Yeah. Just really has not been producing like he was over in Charlotte, which is what they brought him over for. He's a 20-point scorer in Charlotte. He really didn't have a great year last year. He's been taken out of the starting lineup this year. His numbers have all been down, especially his percentages. So it's been tough to see so far.
Yeah, shooting 36% from 3 right now, technically, but still, it's nothing what we used to see. Only taking 1.8 attempts as well. He was a big trade target last year, and we talked about him last year in the podcast as well. How he was doing really well in Charlotte, and so I thought it'd be a perfect fit for him in Miami. But yeah, just not doing much this time. I don't know. It kind of sucks to see. And then the other person that I kind of expect more from is Jaime Jaquez, who's only started one game this year. He was amazing resurgence in the second half of the year last year as a rookie, and haven't really seen much from him. He's only averaging 8.7 points.
Yeah, hoping he can maybe pick that up a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more aggressive. But like you said, he had a pretty good breakout in the second half of the season last year. So hoping for more of the same to come. Let's move on to the last team we'll talk about that we feel like are trending in the right direction. This team has been a little bit of a wild card, kind of ups and downs like you were just talking about in relation to the matchup we have tomorrow night. But that is the Atlanta Hawks.
They've had last week, they were the only team to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers twice.
Yep.
And that at that point, the Cavs only had 3 losses, and they were two of them.
Yep.
But they're the only team to also give up at the time, the Washington Wizards only 2 wins. So they lost the Wizards, the worst team in the league, twice. They beat the best team in the East twice. There's just talk about consistency. There's no consistency here with this team, but they have some great guys. You have Trae Young, who's leading the league in assists, and you have the Great Barrier Thief down there. He's also leading the league in steals right now. They have the building blocks. Jalen Johnson's looking like a baller, like we knew he would. We talked about him in the first episode of this season. We knew he was going to be coming out here and just scoring the way he is, and he has been. He's leading the league in rebounds right now as a small forward at the 9.9, not in the league, but his team, excuse me. But yeah, it's they're looking good. I like it.
Yeah. Like you said, they have the pieces to be a really good team. Not necessarily sure why the kind of the up and down in terms of these games, beating the best teams, losing to the worst teams. But they have been playing well. Trae Young has been putting up some crazy assist numbers as of late. He had a 30 and 20 game, I think. I think he's averaging 11 assists right now, 12 assists right now.
12.2.
Yep, exactly. So
leading the league.
They have the pieces. We've talked about Dyson Daniels. We've talked about Jalen Johnson. DeAndre Hunter has returned from his injury.
Bogdanovich.
We got Bogdanovich who returned from injury. So I like this team. I'm hoping they can pick it up. The one thing I have noticed is that Trae Young's 3-point shooting has been pretty down, I think, from previous seasons.
Yeah, at 31% right now.
Yeah, and so I feel like if he's able to get that back into his game, especially Trae Young just loving to have that pick and roll game, you can make him even more, unstoppable than he already is. And so I think that they are headed in the right direction right now.
I think what speaks to Trae Young's league leading assists right now is the fact that there's 8 players on this team that are averaging double digits in the points right now, all the way from Clint Capella at center, all the way to Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Neil Hunter, Dyson Daniels, Bogdanovich, the rookie, Rashashir, the first round pick. It's been insane. And so I think that really speaks a lot. I love to see that on a team where you can really spread the ball around everywhere. Kind of reminds me of my Thunder team a little bit, who can put the ball in anybody's hands. And so it's really good to see. And that's why I really like to say Trae Young, even though he's not shooting well from 3, which has always been his bread and butter. He's always been a 3-point shooter.
Yep.
He's only making 2.6 to every 8.5 he's attempting right now. So he's almost attempting double digits threes right now still. But he's still averaging 20.9.
Yeah, he's still getting his buckets though.
He's still getting double.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sloppy. And once he gets that, I feel like this team is really well
I think
off.
so too. Yeah. So definitely be a good team that we'll enjoy monitoring throughout the season. One last team I just want to quickly talk about before we talk about teams trending down. We had mentioned a little bit about this team earlier in the episode. Despite their early struggles, despite all of the drama with that team or all the rumors, they have picked things up, winning 8 of their last 10, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah.
It's been on the back of Giannis, mainly.
Yeah, he's averaging 34, 11, and 7 with almost 2 blocks a game, and that's in the past 2 weeks. He's also been doing that all year. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, you're fine. And now you have, which we'll talk about the Lakers here in a second, but you have Darvin Ham, assistant coach here, who has a better record than he did last year as the head coach of the Lakers. But
oh man,
yeah, they're just figuring it out. Like I said, on the back of Giannis, he's absolutely insane, and I feel like he's just getting a little bit more help, enough to win some games here. Playing a lot of these East opponents where you necessarily don't need all the help as much as he did earlier this year, I feel like. But I haven't really seen. But yeah, Brook Lopez coming back to his old self. He's also like top 3 or 4 in blocks in the league right now as well. So he's really been a big deal there. On the blocks, also leading his team in steals. But Dame is coming back to himself a little bit more too now. So it's good to see that.
Dame has really picked it up in the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 27 and 8 in the past 2 weeks. I know my boy Marcus is hearing that too. Yes, sir, Marcus. Dame's cooking. And I think also the return of Chris Middleton. This guy is injury ridden. He's getting older, but he's still a playmaker for this team. He can find his own shot. He can facilitate. And still, I think that him slowly getting his minutes back and his runs back will help out that team as well.
Yeah, only averaging 11 points on his 2 games. So lots of time, but that he's been such a focal point. He was a huge focal point in their championship when they won.
Yep.
Even last year when he was the only one last year during the playoffs.
He was trying.
He was trying so hard, and that's pretty much why his ankles were dead in the first place.
Yeah.
He was literally he's an old man. And he was carrying this team last year.
He probably played 40 minutes a game. While Dame and Giannis were hurt. So
yeah, but it's good to see them doing better. I think it's everybody getting healthy. Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench has kind of been helping as well too.
Yep.
So I like to see that happen. Bobby P's finding his rhythm. We were talking about Bobby P in the corner.
Yep.
But Bobby P's been being a good role player and just taking smarter shots and stuff like that. So they're just figuring it out. Obviously, off of Giannis' MVP looking esque season, but still lots of basketball to play.
A lot of basketball to play.
They're 12-11. They're only one game above 500 now, but this is a East that's kind of wide open besides the Cavs and Bucks or Celtics up there.
Yeah, let's see how they do in the NBA Cup coming up this week. Let's move on to the teams that we think are trending down. This first team, actually, we're going to talk about, we don't feel, I think, is trending down. We mentioned at the start of the podcast, Orlando Magic just lost Franz Wagner, who was on an absolute tear, playing at an all-star level while Paulo was out, who also now has suffered an oblique injury. Matt, what is going to happen to this team with their stars out?
Just, I started to see this as the last year's Memphis Grizzlies in a way, But I mean, they're still holding their own right now because the Memphis Grizzlies got so injury riddled last year. They had no starters whatsoever, and they had a guy like G.G. Jackson emerge who was amazing. And G.G.'s not even playing this year, sadly, because he's injured. But I kind of see that kind of taking place here a little bit. But they're still getting wins. Like I said, they beat your Suns last night. They beat the 76ers. They're beating the Nets. They beat the Bulls, Pistons, Lakers. They beat the Suns twice, actually. I'm sorry. But I'm so sorry about that. But they're figuring out ways. And like I talked about in the beginning of the season, their coach is one of my favorite candidates for head coach of the year. He's awesome. He's figuring out ways to do this. Jamal Mosley. Yep, exactly. So, but the biggest guy I want to talk about is Goga Bitadze.
Yep.
Yeah. I picked him up in fantasy. He's been the center for this team, who's been amazing.
I think he's leading the team in blocks.
He's leading the team in blocks at 1.6. He's leading the team in rebounds 7.3.
Oh shit.
He's only started 18 games now, so he's still kind of figuring it out. He's only averaging 8.8 points, but he had 20 bomb last night.
Was it 21 and 16 last night?
16 last night.
Yeah.
So he's been slowly filling that role.
Mo Wagner has been playing well.
You have Mo, who's going to have to step it up without his brother as well.
Yeah.
Which we talked about Franz. That's really tough to see. KCP was a huge offseason acquisition who did not start the season what we expected him to do or what he did in Denver. But he's going to be getting a lot more now. And obviously, I can't go without saying the man himself, Jalen Suggs, former Zag. Iconic man. Love that guy so much. He's really doing a lot, and he's also dropped 20-something points last night and just trying to facilitate this team as best as his abilities. And he's been stepping up to the plate and doing it. And he was a huge part of Franz scoring because he used to open up that offense so well on the court. And so he was a partial reason to why Franz Wagner was doing so well. And now doesn't have Franz, so now he'll find the next guy up.
They're young. They're a very young team. They got good depth. I think they are a top defensive team in the league. I don't think that I actually know that. That's not where I was going. And they just need to keep that up. If they can keep up that defensive aggressiveness they have, that's really going to help them down the stretch. I heard from the most recent update that Paulo is now able to get shots up, which is a very good sign in terms of his recovery. And so it should not be hopefully too long until he's able to come back. Kind of like what we were saying when Paulo went down with Franz. Keep the team afloat. Once these guys get back, you'll get back to rock and rolling. But I mean, this team has been, what are they, 8-2 in their last 10? They're third in the East. So it's been a very fun team to watch.
The fact that they're third in the East is insane.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it so many times, but they've been figuring their way. Franz Wagner killing it. Even talk about other guys. You got the rookie Tristan Da Silva, who's been stepping up.
Yep.
Jonathan Isaac should be better than what he is right now, but he's getting some minutes in there. Max McClung is coming up for the team, I believe. I think he came in yesterday.
The boy, let's go.
He hasn't really gotten anything in. He got a rebound yesterday, I believe. But talking about the next guy up, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, they're a good team.
Yeah, this will definitely be something we'll be monitoring a lot, given the status of the injuries, and just we love watching this team. So we're hoping that the best for this team. Moving on to the next team. This team seems like there's some frustration because we've talked about this team on the last episode. We were saying how we thought this team was trending up. They have the pieces on paper. They look like a great team. They have been a great team. They've been losing some games as of late. And Matt, that team is the Sacramento Kings.
I just can't figure out exactly what it is. And I think it's sadly on Mike Brown's still the coach, right?
Yeah.
I think it's coming on Mike Brown a little bit. Kind of like Frank Vogel was last year. And pretty bad third and fourth quarter. They feel like they're obviously they have De'Aaron Fox, who's top 5 in scoring right now, who's been amazing. You have DeMar DeRozan, who's finding a resurgence of looking back at his Toronto days, honestly. Good seeing him doing that. Domantas Sabonis, always doing Domantas Sabonis things. You have rookie Isaac Jones, go Cougs, coming up and stepping up, having a 17-point game the other night. They're there. They have the players. They're making the moves. I don't know exactly what it is that they're missing, but I just feel like they're lacking when it comes to the third and fourth quarter, more so the fourth. And I don't know what it is, man. It's bothering me, though, because you have Domantas Sabonis averaging 12.7 rebounds, 6.2 assists. Keegan Murray is leading their team in blocks with 0.9. De'Aaron Fox, 1.7 steals, also one of the top in the league in steals, and De'Aaron Fox balling every night with 26 points a game. I just don't know what it is. It's bothering me. Every time I watch them, they play really good, and then they just shit the bed. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. And I mean, like we said, on paper and how they've been playing, they are a really good team. They have really good defensive pieces on this team.
Yeah.
They just inserted Malik Monk into the starting lineup, and he has been playing well in that position. And so, not necessarily sure what's going on. Hopefully these are just some, little small things, some struggles that are going on that they can hopefully, figure out and fix. But yeah, not sure what's going wrong right now with this team.
Might be a little bit of the bench a little bit. The starters looking pretty good, from Huter to De'Aaron Fox and everything like that. They're all averaging double points, and then their bench, besides Isaac Jones, who's a rookie. I'm not gonna put any blame on Isaac. Isaac, you're perfect. We love you.
You're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT. Other than that, it's hard to say. I think it has to do with coaching, because you have the guys, and maybe falls into De'Aaron Fox's hands a little bit of, becoming a floor general and really helping your team out, of guiding them in the way down the stretch. But I don't know. But I'm keeping an eye out for these guys. I'm not counting them out yet at all. They're good. They're really good. I'm not counting them out.
Yeah.
It's just a really tough West, first of all. And this league is still good. That's why they need to expand.
They're currently sitting at 12-13, but they are on a 2-game win streak. So you never know with this team. We got plenty of time left in the season for this team to turn things around. Let's move on to the next team, Matt. Another team that's been struggling as of late. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've fallen down in the standings a little bit. There's currently sitting at 13-11. Let's talk about them, Matt. That team is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I hyped Anthony Davis up quite early this year as MVP. And he's since trended down a little bit. He's still doing really good. He had a really bad skid. And then talk about Father Time himself, the King. He almost lost his double-digit streak that he's had for over 1,600 games or something like that.
Crazy.
He is not looking like himself. He had a really good game against the Hawks, and so did Anthony Davis. Had a really good game against the Hawks, but they lost that game too. And we like I was saying with Darvin Ham earlier with the Bucks, you have JJ Redick at this point in the season. Darvin Ham had 1 or 2 more games than you, at least in the win column. So I don't think this is necessarily JJ Redick's fault. I said at the beginning of the season, and I said it last year, they lack depth like crazy. They have nothing coming off the bench that's good for them. You have AD, he's good. And when he'll have a game or two where he's not going to perform. That just happens. That happens to almost every star except Shea. But you have the father LeBron, who's kind of slowing down a little bit, which we expected. He's still which says a lot to LeBron James in general. We're saying he's slowing down, even though he's still doing better than the majority of the league, right? But we just expect more from him usually. But any given day, like you said, we said it so many times last year, you can't count LeBron out ever. But outside of that, you have, as much as I hate to admit it, Rui's not performing as he should, as necessarily. You can't rely on a rookie Dalton Connect to drop you 22 points every single game and shooting every single time, because he had a really good skid of doing really well from 3, and then he had a skid of not doing good again. So you can't really rely on that. You can rely on Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino. Like, you can't have these guys coming off your bench. If you're going to want to make a run, especially in this deep West, you're going to have way better bench than what it's happening right now.
D'Lo's been struggling.
I've never been a fan of D'Lo, but he's just kind of proving my point right now as well.
This team, you hit it on the money. This team needs help.
Yeah.
I don't think it's JJ Redick.
I don't think it's JJ at all. You got to find guys that, like, I don't know. I always compare to the Thunder, but like, they found guys that can have hustle and have skill outside of just one. They're not one dimensional.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing, to where you're paying all these guys a bunch of money, but you're not finding one. You're finding one-dimensional guys, and I'd hate to bring it upon this, but it kind of comes down to, why the hell are you drafting Bronny James in the second round? There's some good guys you can find in the second round. There's guys like Anton Watson, who had a double-double that didn't get recognized in the NBA account, but you got the NBA posting about Bronny James' 16 points in his career high for G League. It sucks to see there's so many good guys out there, man, and there's guys that could probably help your team right now that are even on some G League teams. There's some guys right now that could help you that are on benches of other teams that could really step it up. We're not talking about them today, but you talk about like a guy like Peyton Pritchard, who's been kind of like turning into this 6th man of the year kind of dude for the Celtics a little bit. You can find they need something like that specifically. Is another guard that can come off the bench there, or a small forward that can like play dimensionally. But when all of your attention and focus is to rely heavily on LeBron and AD every single game is not a game plan.
Rob Pelinka, you need to figure it out, man.
Yeah, dude.
This was a team we had discussed last year around the trade deadline if they were going to do anything, and I don't believe they did anything, right? And I don't think they did anything. So this will be a team we're going to talk again about, during the, around the trade deadline. Are they going to do something this year? Are they going to help get some pieces to be in win now mode? Because when you look at guys like LeBron, obviously, you look at AD, these guys don't have forever. They're still playing insane basketball. They just need some help.
Like, just listen to this bench. Yeah, Hayes, Max Christie, Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, Olivari, Coloco, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Bronny, Mark Lewis, Tororo. The highest of those guys, Hayes, is averaging 6.4 points a game on 17 minutes. It's like, it's not great, and you can't rely on Austin Reeves every game. Austin Reeves is a great shooter, but like, he's not the guy that's facilitating a team. I'm sorry. You're not facilitating 2 great players as well, So I think it's just a very different dynamic. That's really hard to do. And like I said, the team leaders are literally all LeBron and AD. AD leading in points, AD leading rebounds, LeBron leading in assists, AD leading in steals, AD leading in blocks. Like, you don't see that on most of these teams. Most of these teams that you see, you have a very spread out of leaders on your stats, which is not saying it's a bad thing. They have one guy leading everywhere, but you can't rely on 1 or 2 guys to lead a championship. It takes a team.
Yep.
It takes a whole team.
Yep. Given the Lakers and just them being the Lakers, this will be an ongoing topic for us throughout the season.
We got some Lakers fans out there that are listening. So
we'll see how they progress these next couple months going into the break. We'll see if they do anything at the trade deadline. Let's go on to the next team, Matt. This team is on pace to be historically bad. We'll see if they're able to turn things around, Matt. But let's real quick talk about the Washington Wizards.
As much as how bad this team is, I still think they have more depth than the Lakers. But it's been like weird with them because I honestly think that they have they have some good key players. They have Jordan Poole has been really balling out lately. He's averaging 20.4 points, and he's been really good. He had a 30-point game the other day to help beat the Nuggets. And that's the other weird thing you talk about. We talked about the Hawks who, gave them their only 2 wins to start the season, and then they beat the Nuggets. That's their 3rd win. So they're 3-19. Dead last in the league. But they have building blocks. They have guys that are decent, but I don't know. We'll have to see going forward. I don't know what it is necessarily. They don't have like the star power. I love Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's actually been really good, but like, I don't think he's a star by any means. So I think he's obviously great, like he was next to Curry or somebody like that, where he can do what he's doing right now, 20.9 points. But you look at almost all these other teams that are doing good. 20.9 points is like the second leading scorer on a team, not the first. So there's just a lack there.
Do you think they have a chance of getting out of this skid they are in? Do you think they will break that historic mark that they're on?
I think they have a chance. I like this Wizards team a lot more than the horribly bad Pistons team last year. Like I said, I made a joke. I think they have better depth than the Lakers. I think they do. They got rookies. They got Champagny at 9.2 points averaging, and then they have Bub Carrington, the rookie Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert with 10.9 points, Koulibaly. Like, they have guys coming off the bench. Keontae George, I forgot about him too. They have guys that can step up, and they have depth. They have the guys that can step up. They just need to, Honestly, with how bad you are right now, you're not going to go anywhere. So I just give any guys as much playing time as they can and find the next star that come up.
Yeah. You had mentioned a team that they had beaten recently. Good segue into the next thing we're about to be talking about. They had just beaten the Denver Nuggets. Matt, when you look at the Denver Nuggets, you look at Nikola Jokic. There's not one word to describe this guy. He is playing unbelievably, and he continues to do it on a nightly basis. It's crazy, but it seems like no Jokic, the Nuggets really struggle.
I can't remember exactly all the stats, but there was like an infographic that came up. They're pretty much dead last or 29th or 28th or 30th in almost every single offensive and defensive team stat when Jokic is not on the court. When he's on the court, they're like first because Jokic is doing everything in his damn well power that he can. Last year I was salty because he won the MVP over Shea, but this year, man deserves it, even though they're 12-10 right now, which is tough to see. But my gosh, dude, I just don't know where it is because a lot of these guys were on their championship team, and so I don't know why they're struggling so bad without him. I feel like they relied on him too much the last couple of years. I feel like they just got into this hole of just relying on him, and the coach there needs to figure it out too. I think it relies on him first because they have guys. They know they've seen these guys do well before. But oh my gosh, Jokic, dude. Yeah, he lost to the Wizards, and I think he had like 56 points. I think it was a career high.
It was
58 or 60 or something like that.
One of his back-to-back nights of just unbelievable stat lines.
Yeah, and we talked about the Hawks as well. He finally got a commanding win of 141-111 against the Hawks a couple nights ago, and he scored 48 points there too. And it's just like, the man does it all, dude. It's kind of funny. I like this quote. It was like, back in my country, if you're doing bad, you get paid less.
Maybe we just need to get a pay cut and we'll start playing better
for some motivation.
Yeah.
You know what, Loki? I don't blame him. I feel like I see like people like Aaron Gordon going out this offseason, all this extravaganza stuff and like fighting his soul and so bullshit like that. Like, dude, no, figure out your basketball shot, dude. I don't know. I don't really care about what else you do in your basketball off season. Obviously, it's your off season. You do what you want with it, but be a better player, man. Especially if you can't. There's no excuses. I don't know. I feel like everybody wants to win a championship in this league, and you not helping out your greatest player ever is kind of no excuses. I don't know.
You talk about them relying too much on Jokic. I really think they do. I think they're just so used to having a guy like Jokic who, whenever the ball's in his hands, you have all five guys on defense just focused on him. Whether it's doubling or helping, shading, anything like that. And then you leave guys, Jokic just has amazing playmaking ability that he's able to find other guys open. I think just not having that ability. Also, when it comes to rebounding, I feel like the whole team just runs down the floor because they know Jokic is going to get the ball. And then literally they have to just look up and the ball's right there. Even just giving it down to Jokic in the post. I mean, he's such a good post player too. We don't even talk about that because all of his other aspects of his game are insane, but he's just such a difference maker. And I think that, the Nuggets rely too much on him. And I think there's just a lot of questions around Jamal Murray. There was questions. I mean, in the playoffs, he's shown what he can do, but there was questions around him in the Olympics. There's questions around him at the start of this year. It seems like, his numbers are still the same, but it seems like he's really lost kind of some of his explosiveness just by watching some of his game. He's not able to create as much space on his step backs, which is the pinnacle, I feel like, of Jamal Murray's scoring. Yeah. But I feel like he's just had a little bit of, not a slow start because I think he's still averaging 17 a game and, playing well, but he's just not being as effective as he used to be.
Well, he used to average 20, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Like, that's not him. That's not him.
So he's really just digressed a little bit. But really hoping that the return of Aaron Gordon will help him because Aaron Gordon was playing some really good basketball before he went down with that, I think, that calf strain.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel bad shit talking Aaron Gordon when he was the one injured. So it wasn't really his fault. But you kind of talk about the loss of KCP, which we talked about him being in Orlando now.
Yep.
As much as I'm not sure, KCP's not a star by any means, but he was a man of hustle and he helped facilitate that court quite a bit when Giannis wasn't there. So now you have Russell Westbrook, which I hate to see him being this bad without Jokic on the floor, but I don't know. I just don't know what they need to do. Comes down to coaching, comes up with the next guy. It's tough to watch. It's really, really tiring watching Jokic put everything on the line every fucking night, dude. Just like, you know, he won 3 MVPs on it. He could give a shit about the MVPs, man. He just wants to win, and he's just doing as much as he can, dude. And yeah, no one's helping him.
I think he's almost turning 30 if he's not already turned 30, but clearly it does not mean a thing to him because he has not slowed down at all.
Nope.
If anything, he just continues to get better and better. So, I mean, but, you know, kind of the same thing with Jokic is whenever you have Jokic on your team, you can never count him out. You know, we'll just see how his health is. You know, when he was out, I think it wasn't even a kid. So he missed those 2 games, but it still is very worrisome that the Nuggets almost fall apart when they don't have Jokic out there on the floor.
Same thing we talk about with the Lakers, man. Jokic is literally leading his team in points, 32.3, rebounds, 13.6, assists, 2.2, steals, 1.8. And the only thing he's not leading is his blocks, and that's because Watson is P. Watson is averaging 1 block a game, which I feel like Jokic could totally be up there too. So I don't know. Yeah, dude, it's tough. You don't have Prime Westbrook anymore. Westbrook's still averaging 11.3 right now, which has kind of been cool to see, but I just don't know. He just needs some help.
Yeah. But, you know, yeah, with Jokic being Jokic, you'll never know what happens. But let's move on to the next team, Matt. Let's talk about a team we haven't really talked about much this year. And I think it's because they've been struggling, and that is over on the East. That's the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, we talked about them a lot last year because we liked the team. They had a lot of depth. But yeah, right now they're struggling. Their leader right now is Pascal Siakam with 19.7 points. They don't even have a single player averaging over 20 points this game. So,
and we talked about it last year in the playoffs. It's been an ongoing topic with Tyrese Halliburton, but it just really seems like he's just been on and off. You know, there's games where he can drop 30. There's games where he drops 4. His 3-point shooting has been very poor for his standards.
Hit or miss.
It's been hit or miss. And he really is only one of the 3-point shooters, I feel like, on that team, at least at a high volume. You know, Halliburton will let it fly. He'll take 9 threes a game. It really has to start with Halliburton with the team struggles. He's got to be able to knock down those shots to help open up the floor. He's a good facilitator. We've seen that, but he's got to make himself
he's just not scoring. Man.
More of a score. Yeah, he's got to be more of a lethal scorer to be able to have the defense focus on him more, open up the rest of the floor.
You cannot show me right now that Tyrese Halliburton is averaging 17.5 points and tell me he was an all-star player last year.
Yep.
That is insane.
Yep.
You were not playing what you were doing last year. You were an all-star player last year and you were doing really well. You were leading the league in assists, which obviously Trae Young is now, but like you're only averaging 8.4 assists now. So you're not even making up for it there. Saying you're only averaging 17.5 points, dude. Like, why? And 3.4 rebounds. It's not good. I mean, he's averaging 1.3 steals, but TJ McConnell's averaging more, 1.4. And Miles Turner's averaging 2 blocks. Dude, Benedict Mathurin is averaging more points than Tyrese Halliburton. It'd be great if Benedict Mathurin was averaging 17 points along with Halliburton scoring. You need to be. I'm not sure why you just been. I think it really comes down to him in the first place. Like we talk about, you need stars. Pascal's not scoring as much as I think he should be either. But he's, being the best one on this team right now, and then you need another guy there to help him out.
And you just mentioned Benedict Mathurin. He's been, inserted in the starting lineup a lot just to injuries, and he's been playing really well this season. They just need that lead. They need their leader. They need their all-star. I would have thought, I think we mentioned this also, when he was a part of the Olympic team, Halliburton was, I thought that even if he didn't play much, just being able to gain knowledge from all those Hall of Famers would have really helped him, bring it back to his game and elevate his game. And it just seems like he's been struggling as of late.
He might be distracted out the court or something. I don't know what it is. You can't average 35 minutes and only score 17.5.
No.
You can't win this league of averaging 17.5 and being considered the star of your team. That's just, you can't do that. So,
not when the top 40 or 30 or 40 players are all averaging 20 plus 50 players. You're not even averaging.
I think there is about almost 30 or 40 players. Yeah.
You're not even averaging 20 points a game.
No. So, nobody on your team is.
No one. Yeah. So really just been a tough start for the Pacers. We'll see if Halliburton can pick things up.
Denny, last but not least, I brought him up a couple of times, but you need to talk about your Suns a little bit.
I don't really know what to say about the Suns. I guess it's just more and more obvious that you need your star Kevin Durant there. You know, KD went down with that calf strain. He was out for some time, came back, started playing well. Suns started picking it up. Goes down with that ankle strain or sprain, whatever the hell it was. Now he's missing extended time again, and it just seems like whenever KD is not there, things are not clicking. It's been tough.
Yeah, man.
I really don't even know like what to say. I feel like it's so obvious. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's just plain and simple.
Yeah, I think it's just plain simple. And that just is bad for the team overall to see that when you lose Kevin Durant, you can't even win games. I mean, yeah, you were losing to everyone, I think, like right now.
Nurk wasn't really healthy for a while, but still, Nurk's not even performing good when he's on the court. He's only averaging 8.9 points per game on 9.9 rebounds, which you can't have that from a center. Not in this league.
No.
Every single other center in this league can outscore you, outboard you.
Yeah.
If you're going to be playing those numbers.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen just took a step down from what he was last year as well. Obviously, different roles. We have Tyus Jones there now too. So that obviously he's going to take a little bit of hit, but he's just not looking as good as a scorer as he was last year. Yeah, this team is just missing KD. That's plain and simple.
And I think the worst part about it too is I think it's unfortunately become a mentality for them too. You know, they had KD, they were 8-1, they lose KD, they fall apart. KD comes back, they start picking it back up, and then right when they get things going, KD's down again. So they're probably just thinking, "Fuck, man, we need KD."
They just need. I wish teams were not so reliant on that though.
I know. No, exactly.
We talked about probably 3 or 4 teams though.
This
episode about that.
Yeah.
Like the Magic are figuring it out, dude. They have 2 stars that went down. They're figuring it out. Why can't you? You know, they have a lot of young guys that
other guys to step
left
up
and right.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Jalen Suggs is finding a way to win with this team, and he's facilitating a lot of some young guys. Some guys that are not starters ever in their career before. And, you know, he's still doing his part. He's not going out there and being flashy and averaging 30 points a game or anything like that. But you need D-Book to D-Book's a scorer, but D-Book's like we talked about coming back to the Olympics with Tyrese. D-Book looked amazing coming as a role player for the Olympic team this year. I've not really seen that since, with KD being out, you know. I think he needs to be that facilitator again. I think he needs to get his offense involved, get them a little bit more, you know, let's get something going, you know.
And I think he just needs to take the ball out of Tyus Jones' hands sometimes, you know. Tyus Jones is the primary ball handler, but he cannot drive and kick as effectively as Book, because Book's able to create a shot, do a couple moves, get to the rim. And he's, of course, more of a scoring threat. So I haven't really taken a deep dive into this team just because I've been so depressed about Kevin Durant. But I will definitely be looking in this team more and have more thoughts about this team. But right now with KD out, it's just been so tough. So tough.
Yeah. There's plenty of time left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got plenty of time. Yeah.
This is all early reactions, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get emotional about your teams. You know, that's how it goes.
But yeah, speaking about the match, they lost to the Magic, they lost to the Heat, they lost to the Pels, which is not. What are we doing all the time? You know, I'm going to go into the Pelicans real quick. I feel we have not talked about a lot this season. Talking about teams trending down.
Mm-hmm.
They've been injured like crazy.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram out indefinitely as well with an ankle sprain now. They're 5-20. The Pelicans are. We talked about how bad the Wizards are. This is also pretty bad, but they have a little more of an excuse. They have a bum in Zion who never wants to be healthy, apparently. Probably one of the biggest busts in NBA history, I feel like.
Yeah.
For how hyped up he was.
He's going there. He's in that direction right now.
Now you have Brandon Ingram that is injured now. They just lost my Thunder a couple nights ago.
DeJounte's been out. CJ's been out, I think. Herb Jones just came back from injury. Trey Murphy just came back from injury.
Murray just came back. He's only averaging 15.9 15.9 points right now, which is not very good for coming back, averaging 32 minutes. Trey's been out here and there. CJ McCollum missed some time. I think the person that's played the most points on the most games on this team is Jeremiah Robinson Earl, former Thunder player. JRE has played the most games on this team. He's the only player that's played all 25 games or been active at least.
Depressing.
Not much you can say or do here. The other guy that's been on there is Jeff Green.
Goat.
Not much you can say or do here. Yeah, Zion's only played 6 games. Brandon Ingram played 18 games, injured. Collum only played 12 games, injured. Trey didn't even start the season, I think, or he went out the first game or something like that.
Yep.
Injured. Herb, I don't think Herb's even played yet, has he?
I think he's played 2 games.
He's played 7 games now.
Or he's played 7 games.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize the Pelicans had only 5 wins.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh my God.
I just don't think there's anything you can do. They have to just roll with what they got for now, and there's a lot of talk. We'll talk about trade deadline coming up, but we'll do another trade deadline episode going in January/February.
Yep.
But I think Brandon Ingram needs to be moved, and he get as much as he can for him. And fuck, dude. I mean, I think he still keeps Zion, because I don't think you're getting like the least amount of profit as you can right now with Zion if you're going to trade him.
Yeah.
A lot of teams might have him, but I feel like you keep Zion and you have to fucking sadly build around him right now. I don't think there's anything else you can do. I don't know what else you can do.
No, I think at this point, that's probably your best option. You just got to.
You're not the Grizzlies, who were injury riddled and had a shit ton of talent.
No. You
just traded for DeJounte, but DeJounte hasn't done the shit yet. I don't know. He could. We're not coming our boy out yet, but
yeah.
He's not looking great coming off injury.
It's been tough. Yeah.
So it's been a tough team to watch.
Yeah, been tough for the Pels, and not much they can do right now. But
no.
Yeah, I would definitely try to take advantage of this trade deadline and see if they can move any pieces around. Yeah. Any other thoughts about the Pelicans, Matt?
No, it's kind of sucks to see. I mean, they were literally. I mean, the Thunder swept them last year in the play-in, or no, the first round.
Yep. I think they made it. Damn.
Yeah, they were in the first round last year.
Yeah.
They made it through the play-in, and they got to the first round last year. And the Thunder
at them now.
Swept them. They've always been this mid. They've always been a 7, 8, 9, 10 team. They've haven't figured out to get past that since their AD days.
And now they're hurt, so now they're just falling.
Now they're just falling apart.
Yeah, now they're just falling apart.
It's just, I don't know. They had to. I don't know. Maybe you try to go out and get Cooper Flag, because I think this Wizards team right now can win more games.
They can probably take over. Yeah, exactly.
I think they can win more games than the Pels. I'll be honest.
I think they got more talent than than what the Pels have right now.
Even though they're not winning right now, I mean, they're showing flashes now again that they beat the Nuggets and stuff. But yeah, I think you got to go all out for Cooper Flag. Maybe even try to maximize your NBA draft lottery odds with trading BI away to a team like the Lakers, who would gladly take BI back. I think BI would be perfect back in the Lakers again once healthy.
Yep.
But that's NBA trade deadline, but we'll see. But yeah, that's just the gist of it.
Yeah, I think the trade deadline is usually around February.
Yeah, it's like right before the All-Star break.
So as we approach February All-Star break timeline, we will definitely be talking about kind of the same topic we did today, teams that we think are trending in the right direction, wrong direction, coming out of the break, and then we'll be doing a big trade deadline episode.
Yep.
But before we end things tonight, Matt, just real quick, let's just talk rookie ladder really quick. I want to hear your top 3 rookies in order. Let's hear them.
Number 1, I think it's pretty consensus right now. He's looking really good, even though the team's not looking good. Jared McCann, he's shooting lights out back there from deep, and he looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, he's been killing it.
Yeah, he's averaging about 16 points now a game. So, and with a no Joel Embiid, always injured, Tyrese Maxey that's kind of been struggling a little bit lately as well. So he's been looking amazing. Jared McCann, number 1.
Yeah, I've talked about him being a microwave. If he gets hot, he will stay hot from 3, and that's exactly what he's been doing. And like you said, he just looks like he's having so much fun out there.
Yep.
So it's hard to not enjoy watching that.
Yeah. So easily doing well.
Yeah.
Just shooting really well.
Yep.
Quartzy's in a position where he can do that because, like I said, no stars.
Yep.
That really aren't really doing much right there. So and Paul George as well. I forgot about that guy. I forgot all about Paul George.
About fucking Paul George. Jesus.
We did not put the Sixers in teams shutting down, but I mean it's kind of
they're staying down. They're staying down.
We talked about the last episode, and it's kind of given.
Nothing's changed.
Second, our man, the Coug, Jalen Wells, Jay Wells,
Cougs, baby.
Go Cougs. Jay Wells, if you listen to the podcast, share. We love you, dude.
Huge supporter,
go
Jay Wells, yes, sir.
Jay Wells has been amazing. He's a middle or early second round talent found by the Grizzlies, even though they drafted Zach Edey, the 2-time National Player of the Year for the NCAA. And so Jalen Wells is now starting in this team, like I said, and they're winning. And Jalen Wells is doing really good. He's doing exactly what he did at Wazoo. He's a tall guard. He can shoot really well, but he's taller than you think. And so he's getting down there and getting scrappy rebounds. He's getting some like really good offensive rebounds. That's really allowing second chance points for this team on the Grizzlies. And I love to see it. And yeah, Jay Wells, he's averaging a little over 11 points now per game. And I believe he's leading. Nope, he's still behind McCann in total points, but doing that, doing good on the assist there too. And just looking good, man.
He just had such a great opportunity in Memphis. You know, being a starter, it's amazing.
Perfect place.
I think it's a perfect place too.
I don't know where else he could do this well. Anywhere else, I don't even know he could start anywhere else.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because he gets the start, and then whenever it's like a blowout, since he's a rookie, they still play him.
Exactly.
So he's just gained so much playing time. You know, if this team ends up going to the playoffs, he can gain some playoff experience.
And they're winning so much,
and they're winning right now. So it's been awesome for him.
And not on the rookie ladder, but it was really cool watching that Memphis versus Kings game of him versus Isaac Jones, two band of brothers who were unthought of heroes last year in the NCAA tournament for us as Cougs fans. Really cool seeing Isaac Jones. I'm just honorable mention for Isaac Jones real quick, just because I love the guy.
You're doing your thing, IJ.
You keep doing your thing.
We
man.
are noticing, dog.
We're out there. We're watching the games. Don't you worry, dude.
Keep it up, man.
I'm so happy you're learning from one of the GOATs, Montes Sabonis, one of my favorites from Spokane, Washington. You know, his dad was Arvydas Sabonis. Just a great player to learn from. You're looking good down there.
And we appreciate that you're a follower of the podcast as well, IJ.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we see you, man.
We see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Third is the first overall pick from this year is Zasir Rasashir. Like I said, we've talked a little bit on the Hawks. He's averaging about 11 points per game right now, and he's looking good on the boards down there as well. He's doing good. He's creating a lot of just a lot of fun. Like we talk about how weird this Hawks team is he has the opportunities. Well, as we talked a lot about last year in the rookie class, is a lot of people thought it was the most underwhelming rookie class in a long time. But Rasheer was being the first overall pick. He's looking good. I
think he's really turned it up as of late.
Yeah.
Just has a great opportunity over there in Atlanta. He had a slow start. I think he's getting more comfortable. He's really picked it up.
He's getting more minutes now than Clint Capella.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I think they're slowly transitioning.
Yeah.
Capella out. Hopefully giving my boy Kongwu some more minutes.
Yep.
Giving Risar some more minutes. So yeah, no, he's been solid, and he's been, I think, continuing to trend up.
Yeah. Great situation for him too, just where he is with the Hawks with Trae Young.
Yep.
And Trae Young, obviously, you know, leading the league in assists. So you can be there. You don't have to do too much your first year, and I kind of like that. He can try to learn to be a scorer, especially with Trae Young diamond out those assists left and right.
Yeah, being able to learn from other young guys like Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. Yeah, yep. Great opportunity over there for him.
Yeah, and those are my 1 through 3. Some honorable mentions. Obviously, besides Isaac Jones, Stephon Castle, who had a really slow start, did not really look good in the games that I saw earlier this year with the Spurs. I haven't really watched that many Spurs games lately, but he's got his points quite a bit now. Looking a lot better.
Yeah, I think the kind of the constant thing with Stephon Castle is just improving his shooting percentages. Yep. He's able to score. He's a solid defender, good facilitator. Just needs to pick up those shooting percentages a little bit more.
I think Pop had him doing too much the beginning of the season, and I was like, I don't know. He's a good rookie by all means, but I just feel like you had Chris Paul, so why are you gonna start Stephon
Just
Castle?
ease him into
like,
it. Yeah.
ease him into it. Like
Yeah.
Chris, teach him how to do it. And he's been looking a lot better. He's doing better on the steals part of it and stuff like that as well. So he's getting his defense up, but he's trending the right way. Obviously, 2-time player, national championship out of UConn. So man knows how to win, and he's a gritty guy. I really like his style of play, actually.
Yes, sir.
And then any other honorable mentions for rookies besides Zach Edey, who's been injured? Obviously, he's been good when he's on the court, but
Nothing I can think about. I was going to say Edie.
yeah, Alex Sarr, maybe he's not doing bad by any means.
He's not doing bad. I think he's doing all right.
Bub Carrington had a hot start for that team. He's not done much lately. I think he's also got injured as well. But Alex Sarr's learning, but obviously he's going to be underlooked a lot on the Washington Wizards team.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another rookie I just can't think of right now. Oh, Don't Connect. Sorry.
Yep.
Forgot about that guy.
Yep. Connect's been doing his thing.
He was
continuing to get that opportunity.
Just shooting really well. That's the guy we saw in Tennessee, man. And he's an absolute lethal weapon from the arc. So
yeah, he killed us.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's rookie ladder. Kind of like we talked about, a little bit underwhelming rookie ladder from last year. We're just excited because we just have a Goog on there. So we'll continue talking about that.
Yes, sir.
Not every episode, but every couple episodes. I feel like.
Just kind of some continual updates.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do MVP ladder for next one since we did rookie ladder today.
Yeah.
We'll just switch on and off.
Yep. As Matt had mentioned, this will probably be our only episode for the month of December.
Yep.
So when we come back, we will break down the knockout rounds of the NBA Cup and kind of look ahead to All-Star break and the trade deadline. We'll start making some early picks for who we think should be in the All-Star game, starters and reserves. We'll also do episodes where we announce all of those players and get their reactions. But as always, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and like we said, just, Christmas games, we got Spurs, Knicks, Sixers, Celtics, Nuggets, Suns, T-Wolves, Mavs, and Lakers, Warriors. Lakers always getting those Christmas games. You got your Suns on there, playing Jokic. Hopefully you get some KD. I don't know how that'll be looking like back then, but also Nuggets have been struggling like crazy too. So
yeah, that's true.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. We'll definitely,
I'm really hoping that Sixers Celtics game will be good, but I don't know. And I'm hoping, I don't know about that Spurs Knicks games either, but T-Wolves Mavs would be decent. They actually just
the best game.
Yeah, that's probably the best game in this. The Lakers Warriors will be a good game. It will be a good game.
Yeah, those are always good matchups. You gotta appreciate those matchups while you can.
Yeah, they played them a lot. I feel like they played them quite a bit on Christmas Day, but T-Wolves Mavs, they actually just played recently, and Mavs took that win. So kind of looking for revenge there.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about the T-Wolves, but I keep a watch out for them because they've been trending the wrong direction as well. Not looking as good as they did last year, but
really shows how much they're missing Cat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
and I think it was the wrong move completely.
Yeah,
and that's no knock on
Randall.
Yeah, Randall.
Yeah.
I think he's having a really good year as well. But
you look at the Knicks, they're fourth. You look at the Wolves, I don't think they're top 8 right now.
Nope. They're not.
Yeah. So should be a good game though.
Should be a game.
Yeah.
That's your Christmas Day games. Enjoy watching some b-ball with your family. Other than that,
we will review those games as well.
We will review those games.
If they were good games, we'll talk about them.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah. We'll be having some holiday stuff. I'll be going home for Christmas. Denny will be here for Christmas as well. Hopefully not working.
Be a 5-5, baby.
Yeah, so we'll be busy a little bit. Please continue to look on Instagram. I've been doing a lot better at posting some reels and stuff like that. TikTok as well. I've been doing it there. YouTube. Been watching shorts there. Anytime anywhere you watch the podcast, listen to the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, leave a comment, dude. If you guys want to comment on the episodes, like we'll talk about it. If you want to, I'll put a good topic up this episode. So go leave a comment, and if you have it something good enough, we'll talk about in the next episode. Go vote and everything like that, and yeah, continue to support. We really appreciate y'all.
Like Matt said, we want to know what you guys want to hear. So
if you have any for you guys,
if you have any suggestions of stuff you want us to talk about, let us know. And we will be
blab all fucking day long.
You know us, we can keep going. So just let us know.
Exactly.
But as always, appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Happy holidays. We'll see you next time.
Vegas closed. Peace.